Language Cert International Spolko exam, expert level, the 1st of July 2019. Áron Karancsi exam begins. Hello, my name is Kristina Kürti. Can you spell your family name for me, please?
Yes, K-A-R-A-N-C-S-I.
Thank you. In which country are you from?
I'm from Hungary.
Thank you. In part one, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and your ideas, all right?
Okay.
The first topic is education. Do you agree that we are never too old to learn new things? Why or why not?
Well, this question I think is great, and I firmly believe that this statement is true. First of all, learning is not really connected with the schools. Most of the people, when you say learning or education, well, learning, yes, the first thing that they think is high school, elementary school, university, etc. However, I think that learning is almost the same as experiencing new things in life. For example, going on a trip that you have always wanted but you could never done, or trying out new things. For example, new sports or team sports. For example, going out with new people, getting to know each other.
Thank you very much. Now, the second topic is relationships. What makes a good neighbor?
A good neighbor. Well, since I don't have problems with my neighbors, I can't really think about specific things. But if I have to think about a good neighbor, well, the first thing is that always keep the space, the personal space for person. For example, don't always ring the bell if they don't have something and they're asking from you, and
all right.
It is crucial, I think, to leave that personal space.
Thank you. Now, the environment. What do you personally do to protect the environment in the area where you live?
Since I work in a McDonald's, it is crucial for me to look what I do with the rubbish that I do. For example, the plates, for example, the paper plates and the paper stuff, I always put one place so I can recycle it later on, so I can give it as a recycle rubbish. And I think it is really important for people to take care of the environment that we live in, because in the future we will live in the same place, so it is really important.
Thank you. Now, part two. In this part of the test, we're going to role play some situations, and I want you to start or respond as necessary. All right?
All right.
The first situation is that I'm a stranger in your town. I start. Where can I go to find some really typical local entertainment?
Local entertainment? Well, we've got the main street. If you go downstairs and turn right at the end of the street, you can find an amazing walking street full of bars and pubs if you want to go there, for example. But you can find cinema at the end of that walking street, and we've got amazing ice cream shops, for example.
Is it an expensive place in the city?
Well, it depends what you think expensive, but I think it's really affordable.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, which direction is it in?
First of all, you go straight at the end of the street and then turn right.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Second situation, we are friends, and you promised to help me with an important presentation, but now you can't. You start.
Hey, look, I gotta say something, and you're not going to like it.
Really?
You remember that presentation that we talked about? That we're
Yeah,
going to do
sure.
together?
It's due next week.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't really have the time. I'm going on a trip with
Really?
my family.
That's bad news.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, but I have to leave it on you. Is there a problem?
Well, if you have any tips you can share with me before leaving, then that would be fine.
Yeah, sure, Wikipedia.
All right.
That's a great place to go.
Can I reach you on the phone while
Yeah, sure.
you are away?
Yeah, sure. I will be online.
All
so
right, good. Okay.
any
Then
places.
I might text you or send you an email.
All right,
if it's fine
anytime.
with you. Okay, thank you. Now, next situation, we are old schoolmates, and I start. Hi, have you seen anyone from our old school recently?
Hey, no, the first is you I see right now, and the other guys, maybe, I don't know if I met Jordan, maybe.
Really?
It's been a long time. Yeah,
Mhm.
we've seen each other, but it was great to see him again.
How is he?
Yeah.
How is he?
Oh,
How
sorry.
is he doing?
Oh, he's great. He said he's got a family now, two
Wow.
children. It's amazing. I was
I wouldn't have
shocked.
thought, yeah.
Yeah, I
Not
was like,
about
oh
him.
my god,
Mhm.
that's amazing.
All right, we should get together sometime.
Yeah, maybe. Let's talk about
Mhm. Okay, we can have a class reunion sometime.
it. Yeah, it would be
Okay.
great.
All right, and the last situation, I've come for an interview at your place of work, and you can see I'm looking concerned, and you start.
Okay. Hey, are you alright?
Well, I'm a little worried. You know, I'm having this interview at
Oh,
your
really?
company. Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be. The boss is great. He's
Really?
really kind. Yeah,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, he really understands how you feel.
Mhm.
So he's going to be really kind
Mhm.
and helpful with you. So if he asks anything, then don't be worried. He's
All right.
really good.
Thank
he's
you.
really chill
It's
person.
really kind of you. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Now, part 3. In this part of the task, we are going to discuss something together. All right?
All right.
Here are some opinions about how public money should or should not be spent. So let's discuss what we feel about these things and decide which ones we most agree and disagree with. Take 20 seconds to think about what you want to say. Adam, please start.
Okay. Well, first of all, in my opinion, which is really crucial, is that the taxes that we invest into, for example, free public transport is really important, since a lot of people don't have the advantage of cars, for example, and they have to use those buses. And if they have to use a bus, for example, that is old and don't have lots of features to make the traveling more convenient, then it could be really annoying for them and hard to use these buses. But what do you think?
Well, I must agree with you, and I think it's the majority of people who I think must use public
Yes.
transport. So it's everybody's interest, let's say. So I agree with that. Shall we put it in the first place in our list? Like, is this the one that we agree with the most?
Well, maybe not the first, but the second. The other thing that I think is that really important is that helping developing countries, for example, from the national income, is the top one that I would put to number one, because those countries that are a little bit lower in the technical parts
Mm-hmm.
is I think they need some help, because it is really tough to work without any technology.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your opinion about that?
Well, I tend to disagree here, since I would rather say that more of our national income should be spent locally. You know, it says public money should be spent on an international, not a national, local basis. I must disagree with that, and I have to disagree with the developing countries' idea too. Because I do think that the taxes and the money that comes in should be spent locally, like on public transport services, and you know, taking care of the welfare of the people of our own country.
Yeah. Well, in my point of view, it depends on the country that we're talking about. If we talk about our country, it's more important to spend all the public money on ourselves. However, if we talk about more rich country, I think that they have that plus to give other countries that needs that help for developing, for example. So you're right about that. That is more important.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It probably depends on the state of the country we're speaking about.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, part 4. Thank you. You're going to talk on your own for about 2 minutes, and your topic is new technology you hope to see developed. Okay. So you now have 30 seconds to write some notes to help you. So your topic is new technology you hope to see developed.
Okay.
Okay. Áron Karancsi, please start.
Okay. First of all, that I wrote down is cars, and why I'm saying it's because nowadays, well, since we got cars, there's lots of accidents that's happening all the time, and a lot of people sadly die in these accidents that happens on the roads or in the streets in the city center. And in my point of view, it is really important to make the cars more safe, not really just more modern, to make them more modern, but it is really important to be more safe, because we're using these technologies. That doesn't mean that we don't have to take care of ourselves and take responsibility. And I think those companies that make these cars should be more considered about the safetyness of these cars. The second thing that come to my mind is the phones, for example. Maybe the future technology is going in a way, not just the phones, but the whole thing is going into a way, in my opinion, that is too much. I don't think that we should develop everything into the top level, because I think that is not really possible. And the second thing is that because the people that I see are getting more lazier. As I can see, the technology is getting more and more modern, but the people are getting more and more lazier. And this is something that we shouldn't let happening. So that's a problem of the modern technology. So in my opinion, we shouldn't be just develop everything without any thinking into the future, but look around and take a step back, maybe, to see the whole picture, and just think about it, that maybe we shouldn't do this and that, or maybe we shouldn't let people to use this big technology because they are not they can't use it, because they're not prepared for that, to use that. And maybe if they get that, they're going to use that in the wrong way.
Thank you. Now let me ask you some questions.
Okay.
The first one is, do you rely on technology more or less than people you know?
I think the answer is yes. Mm-hmm. And that sounds a little bit hypocrite after I talked about that, but I usually, well, not usually, all the time I listen to music, and I try to stay around the computer, for example, because that's where I try to make, for example, I make music. So I always sitting there and just cooking up something, do something new. And yeah, in my opinion, I use more the technology than the people around me.
Thank you. Now, are there any technological advances you don't like, and why?
Well, this is something that I have to think about, because nothing specific thing comes to my mind if you ask that. But I think there are definitely some things that I don't really support in the technology part. But if I have to say something specific, well, I couldn't really say right. So.
Thank you. Now, Áron Karancsi, that is the end of the exam.
Thank you.